Hey everyone, thanks for joining in.
How are you doing today, Mr. Dip?
I'm doing fantastic. We have a great episode planned out here, and I'm excited to get into it. How about you let us know what you have planned for this episode?
Okay, well, before we get started, I want to make sure everyone understands that anything we say on this stream should not be taken as financial advice. It's strictly for entertainment and education purposes only. We have a great show. We have Jenna X joining us tonight. I can't wait for that. Make sure you smash that like button and watch the video right to the end. It really helps the algorithm. All right, so I guess we should bring her on. Let's get right to it. Good evening, Jenna. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing fabulous. Thanks for having me on, guys. I'm looking forward to it, to hanging out and talking crypto with you.
Awesome. Appreciate you coming on. Well, I guess we'll get right to it. First thing I want to ask is, for anyone that doesn't know you, for our followers and listeners, tell us a bit about yourself and, a little bit about how you got into your crypto journey.
Well, first of all, I've got to tell you, I love your intro video and the music. It's very it gets you just pumped up, and I love the vibe of the music and everything. So love that. So I'm Jenna X, formerly XRP Jenna. I got into crypto in 2017 or something like that. 2016. I remember Bitcoin was pumping, but one of my friends actually told me about it. And then it was like, hey, let's go down the rabbit hole. Let me figure out how to buy it. And back then it was kind of taboo because really nobody knew about it. So I just started to learn more and more, and just using Coinbase. And then I really didn't become obsessed with crypto until about 2020, whenever my friend in the NSA told me about XRP. And she was like, Jenna, they're about to get sued by the SEC. All this stuff is going to happen. And I was like, what are you talking about? So that really tuned me in. And then we went down the XRP rabbit hole, which led us down the XLM rabbit hole. And there's just so much with it. Of course, with XRP, it's a little bit, turns you into a little bit of a cult. So I was definitely a maxi for a while. And, then I started to come out of that whenever I realized, hey, this could take a while before XRP actually makes me money. So I've been exploring all different ecosystems. I've actually taken a little bit of a break from content creation over the past few months because I have been studying trading for about 6 hours a day. I'm in front of charts. I'm learning. I'm on live Zooms. I'm doing all kinds of stuff. So that has been super helpful. I don't know. Now I'm addicted to trading. So that's where I'm at.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
Addictive.
It is.
Yeah. Is there anything that you're bullish on in particular right now in the crypto market?
Oh, man. Okay. So bullish as in bullish for the bull run. So what am I kind of collecting right now?
Yeah, token, the project.
Okay, so there's a lot that I like. So I was talking about SHX for a while before it even had just 10x'd, and that was just recently. And they have a partnership with IBM, so definitely worth looking into. Still a really small market cap, but that's Stronghold. I really like that token. I think it can do really, really well. It's actually part of the Stellar ecosystem. It's one of the few Stellar tokens that I actually like, that I see potential in. People overlook Stellar, but honestly, I wouldn't underestimate Jed McCaleb, really. But I like a lot of these gaming tokens. They're still lower market cap, like GFAL, Myria. I know they have a little bit of a higher market cap now. Cap Games, even tokens like Hello, I got into Caspa at 4 cents. Just kind of watching to see what happens with that now. For the higher market cap, I love AVAX. I'm an AVAX fan. It's a little too expensive for me to buy right now. I was accumulating that at $8 to $9. There's so many good ones out there. XNA, I like XNA. I caught a pump on that, and I'm still accumulating that. Nexa, I think, is good. But there's so much out there. Even Mint Layer, I think Layer 2 scaling solutions for Bitcoin, they have a lot of hype behind them. So I think that those narratives will do really, really well in the bull run as well. So definitely watching that. So if you missed out on Ordi, it would definitely be good to kind of peep Mint Layer.
Good to know. I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
We're looking at
There's
it now.
so many. Yeah. And I love to look at like token metrics too, because they use like AI with all their analytics and everything. So it's neat to see what they're looking at. Terra's another one. Tia's been performing like really, really well. That ecosystem is insane. And there's all kind of airdrops going on. I know so many people out there airdrop farming. So there's just so much to look for. And I can't keep track of it all, but it's a great time to be in crypto.
That's
Yeah,
for sure.
Gonna be busy.
Okay, just for so everyone knows, in the screen there is all your social medias links if anyone wants to join your channels, follow you. Great content both on Twitter and of course your live streams and videos on YouTube. You mentioned XRP. Honestly, that was my gateway into crypto. I learned about crypto from Mr. Dip. He actually told me about Bitcoin, and then I kind of did my own research, and XRP is what I came up with. Seemed to be the one that I don't want to say I'm an XRP maxi because I also do love Solana and a few others, IMX, which we're going to be talking about in a little bit here. But I still love the tech, and I love XRP, obviously, like a lot of people do. And one of our previous videos, we did the ISO 20022 tokens, which XRP is one of them, as well as Quant and XLM and a few others. So if you haven't checked out that video, anybody, you can check it out down in the on the channel. But XRP is one of those ones. It's a love-hate relationship because you know that it has regulatory clarity, and at any minute it could just have that gigapump. But we keep on waiting. It doesn't seem to ever want to come. It's pretty crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Steph, what's up, friends? All kinds of friends in the house. Hey, Wen Moon.
Wen Moon, Brian. Thanks everyone for joining. Mr. Coin, how are you? Yes, good. Okay, so speaking of social media, I saw in your on your Twitter that you were blocked by a certain entity, we'll call them, the WEF, the World Economic Forum. What's the story behind that? I wanted to ask you about that.
It's so weird. You'd think that I was some kind of crazy troll. And while I think that WEF and all of this, like, I don't know, that whole rabbit hole of New World Order, I think that they have a certain agenda that I really don't like. I just happened to point out on one of their tweets that was doing extremely poorly. I forget what the tweet even was because I can't see it now, but I was like 4.4 million followers and 40 likes. Literally, that comment got me blocked by the World Economic Forum. They have at the time 4.4 million followers. I don't know what they have now. Like, I have 40-some thousand. For them to even notice me, but to be that soft, like, I pointed out, I made an observation that, like, nobody likes your shit. People don't believe you. Like, you feed people a bunch of bullshit. We're on to you. Not a fan of Klaus Schwab. I don't want to eat the bugs. Like, not down with the agenda.
Somebody got a little bit butthurt.
Yeah, literally. I was like, oh, we are soft. Okay. Like, I'm not down with the wokeness. I'm not down with any of that shit.
Crazy. Yeah, you're right about that, Brian. They do suck balls.
But wow. Anyway, I was like, okay, this is really ridiculous. But it made me think, I'm like, if they're paying attention to me, was there something else that maybe I said too, like down the road that they just really didn't like? Because at that point in time, all I was doing was tweeting about XRP.
Maybe they trolled you and they didn't agree with some of your posts and thought, no, we better block this woman. She's gonna be trouble.
They got that right. Definitely. And I am so unapologetic for that.
That's awesome. Amazing. Okay. One other thing I wanted to ask you, for those that don't know, you're on a trading challenge, I guess we'll call it on YouTube, called Trader Wars. I wanted to ask you how that's going. I know you made it past the first 2 rounds. How are you enjoying that?
Okay, it is so much fun. Listen, when I watched the other seasons and I was like, I can totally freaking do this, right? But I'm like the rookie because I've only been day trading heavily since October. I would do like a little bit here and there, but mostly swing trading. So this is great because Army Piper, he is one of my mentors, and then Crypto Lifer, who was on a previous season, I've been in his Discord learning from him and taking the leverage mastery class that's in there by another one of my mentors. So I'm like, you know what? I can do this. And so like I've been nailing it at home, and then they asked me to be on it, and I was like, oh hell yeah, it's fun. Like the hour flies by, or an hour and a half while
Yeah.
you're on there. And you're against all of these guys and like CryptoFace who actually made Market Cipher. So I'm like, how can I even come close to beating him? Listen, I just didn't want to be the first one eliminated, but this is awesome. So now I'm moving on to the next one. Last show, CryptoFace's brother actually gave me a -2 PNL. I don't know if they feel threatened or what, to try to like bring my score down, but it's all good. I made it through anyway, and I'm coming for him next time. It's so much fun. I love it.
It looks like you guys have a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. And it's hard too, because it's like in the hour, you just have to be really good at scalping. So I've been practicing my 3-minute, 5-minute, 7-minute charts, and I just practice on demo on Mexi to get really used to it. And really what I use is the stochastic RSI is one of the big indicators that I'm looking at, because it's the most helpful for the smaller time frames.
Yep. That's actually one of the things that I mentioned last week. We had our trading strategies video, and the RSI was one of my tools that I like to use, my go-to. Okay, lastly, sorry, Deb, I know you wanted to get a question in, but I just wanted to know, you mentioned the RSI. Give a basic trading strategy of yours. What, do you use specific indicators other than RSI? Is there anything you're looking for? What correlations do you look for?
Buy low, sell high. Okay.
Works every time.
Honestly, right now I'm not doing a lot. I'm scalping shorts right now. Because I don't know. Nobody has a crystal ball of how low we're gonna go. Right? This news, the ETF news, I mean, honestly, the past 3 or 4 months, you could just play along. Any idiot could make money. You could just open up a trade and make money. Now it's getting a little bit harder. Everything's coming down. We don't know. And there's been like so much chop. But the good news is you can make money when it goes up and you can make money when it goes down. But I got a little too bullish. All right. So I got stuck in a couple trades, and I'm such a psychopath that I don't take L's. I have a real problem taking an L. I would rather be patient and wait for it. So I will schlong, where I'll open up a short and I'll also have a long, and hopefully they're pretty close together, where I can hedge my trade and make some money and then add to the liquidity, and add to my long position. So that's what I'm doing right now. I think we're still going to go lower with some of these alts, but you just have to be paying attention every single day. And unfortunately, they're still pegged to Bitcoin. Bitcoin's still the Mac Daddy. And I'm just hoping that we get an explosive alt season. Nobody really knows. But for indicators, for the smaller time frames, the indicators are really kind of shit. You can't use their buy signal, their sell signal, because it could tell you to buy high and sell low. It's absolutely not that accurate. But I do like Chart Prime for the larger time frames. So talking 1 hour and beyond. I do use it for that. It helps me to identify bullish and bearish divvies, reversals, everything like that. So I do like that.
Okay. I know one of Dip's favorite indicators is Market Cipher, since we were talking about crypto.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'm a Market Cipher nerd, so sorry for
I've not tried. I haven't tried that one. You guys are using Market Cipher?
Yes, it's fantastic.
Do you like it? Okay, I'll have to try that one as well.
And then
now I know this goes without saying, Jenna, but make sure you always set your stop losses.
A what? I'm sorry, a what?
Okay,
we don't use those around here. We just add more margin and have patience.
One of these days, I'll get Dip to tell you the story about his Bitcoin trade a year and a half ago, which lasted a year, and that's pretty much what he did. But anyway, sorry to cut you off there, Dip.
Yeah. If you like the shorter time frames, it's actually really good trading the VWAP on the really short time frames on Market Cipher. So I would suggest it. And whenever you're crossing the horizon, you're long and short, and every few minutes you can do some quick scalps. Works out pretty well.
What? I'm down to try everything, and this is why. I think it would be really helpful to do a series trying all different trading groups, for one, to let people know what content you're going to get, what's shit and what's actually working, who's putting in the effort. And I think it would be awesome to rate the different indicators, because I also want to try Bloodalytics. Crypto Blood has his. I want to try Market Cipher. And there's other ones like Crypto Mason and Meg. They just put out one, and I think it's called Patience. So I think it would be fun to go through, spend a couple months, like to do an honest review. You can't just set up an indicator and not fine tune your rifle. You know what I mean? People don't realize that. They'll get indicator, then they don't know how to use their indicators. So to be fair, it's really important to spend time with it, to know how to use them, what you're doing. But I think that would be a lot of fun. You know, what do you think about that?
I think that would be awesome. And it would, and even teaching people how to fine tune that indicator, because you're looking at everything is a trailing indicator to some extent, right? Nothing can see the future, but when you do learn what these indicators are telling you, then you're laughing, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so we were talking, or Jenny, you mentioned alt season, when the alts are going to pump.
Yeah.
I think now is a perfect time to bring up the roundtable segment, because we have Mr. Chart Davidson, who follows the USDT dominance, and he can maybe give us an indication as to whether or not alt season is going to become. So we'll bring everybody up on stage. Welcome Chart Davidson. We will welcome Juan and CryptoCruzer. How are you doing, gentlemen?
Doing well, doing well.
Hello, hello. Yo, can you guys hear me okay? I switched my earbuds. I might be sounding like I'm in a cave.
No, you sound great.
Fine. Yep.
All right, that's good.
So, Chart, we'll start with you. Actually, everybody, welcome Jenna. Jenna, here's the panel.
Hi, friends.
Hi.
Hey, new buddy. Hola.
Okay, Chart, I do want to start with you, as we usually do, to get your take on the market, and tell us what you're seeing in the charts for the overall Bitcoin price.
Well, during our space, we actually went over a lot of things, including the big indicators that I usually use for evaluating the market. That is the dominance chart for the USDT. It's essentially looking at whether or not people are swapping from stablecoin to tokens or coins. And unfortunately, like I said earlier, it does look like it wants to pump a little bit more. It has this 200 EMA sitting at 6.6%. So I think it kind of likes to go to that area, see whether or not it can reject. I feel like it should reject, but the market won't be stable until it gets to that point, I think. And then from there, we can assess whether or not we're going to have like a February pump or not. But you know, it all depends on whether or not this is Swift or not. In the next maybe week, we should kind of get clarity, depending on where this ends up. But normally, like February is a good month for crypto overall. 2 out of 13 years, we've had pretty decent returns in February. So I expect somehow for us to get out of this rut and actually be bullish.
Okay.
Can
Awesome
you
to
show
hear that.
us any like visuals? Like, you're talking about these charts, but I'm a visual learner. Can you throw anything up on the screen for us?
Not at the moment, but you know what? I kind of wish I do, because it's a lot easier to show. Can you throw it up, Crypto?
Yeah.
Yep, can throw it up.
Throw it up. Throw up the USDT.D chart, okay? And hopefully you have the indicator for EMA, the 200, the 365, the 1095. Those are the long-term EMAs. And then if you plot it on a daily time frame, you'll see some of the rejections and some of the supports on the chart itself.
USDT.E?
.D, that's right.
D. There it is. Yep.
All right. Guide me through.
All right, so
Go ahead, Chart.
yeah, so see, like, put it on the daily scale. Is that daily? Okay. So see how we had that support, right? And right now we bounce off that support into a rejection. So hopefully that rejection is going to hold true. The first rejection was actually in November, about November 18th or so. All right. And I think it's going to hold again. So hopefully we have this rejection coming up within the next week, and then from there we should get a good retracement from that level. And if you put it on a weekly scale, it looks exactly what I'm talking about. You'll see a lot of regression that's going to happen from that level, right? Because right now all we're doing is retesting the support that failed, okay? Because it failed at that level at 6.6%, right? And so now it's just doing a retest, and then from there we should get some clarity on the downside. And I think the crypto market should recover in February and March. I think March is going to be usually good, but at the end of March we do have some sell-off. So it all depends on a lot of things, right? We have the Bitcoin halving event that happens in early parts of April. That should have some kind of lead up to that event, but I don't think we've actually baked it into the price right now.
Now, you were mentioning the percent at which you think it should be rejected at. Now, what was that price you're looking at, or that percent?
Yeah, the percentage that was initially rejected was 6.63%.
Okay.
And then it's going to have to try again, right? So you always give yourself 2 tries, right? For any supports or rejections, you always give yourself 2 tries. So this will be the second try, okay? And then hopefully from that point on, we have a further downside movement towards that long-term head and shoulders neckline. So if you look at it, it's actually displaying a neckline at the bottom at let me see here, 2.5%. Do you see it? So if you go all the way down to 2.5%, the neckline starts from there. And if you drag along a trend line from that point to the next point on the left side, which will be at 2.11%, you will create this long neckline that you can kind of use to gauge whether or not price action, or I should say the dominance of stable coins will be rejected at that level. So that's what I'm using as a guide. Honestly, it hasn't failed me so far. We were pretty good determining the tops in 2021 using that. And I think everyone should just follow along. It's really, really good gauging whether or not we're going to reverse or turn fully bullish. So yeah, I highly advise people using that.
Perfect. Great. It gives us something to look at and monitor anyway. Ever since you mentioned it quite a few weeks ago now on your Twitter Spaces, I've actually been watching that chart, and the bloody thing just doesn't want to go down. It keeps on hitting that support and going back up. It doesn't want to reject, but keep an eye on it, because like everybody else, I'm hoping for an alt season, to be quite honest. Bitcoin's doing its thing. There's reasons as to why the price action is doing what it's doing. We'll get into that in a minute. But the least we can do is have a mini altcoin season if we're going to wait for Bitcoin to pump. It's going to hang around these levels for a little while.
And the other thing I'm going to add is always look at the total 3 chart. Okay, so total 3 is the altcoin chart, really, because essentially the market cap of all altcoins minus Ethereum and Bitcoin. All right, so if you take that and put it on a chart, you can kind of see where things are. We did break out of this long inverse head and shoulders pattern in October or November of last year. And so now we're kind of like resetting, because we need to reset. We need to retouch the previous breakout spot, which is going to be about 400 billion market cap. So you can maybe mark that on the actual chart. And then we can kind of get that all season that we always wanted, right? Because right now, this is just a move back to the original spot of the breakout. And then from there, we can load up and get into it.
Excellent.
Okay. Well, we will, for anyone who's kind of wondering why the Bitcoin price has been doing what it's doing, that will be our topic for the next few minutes. Some headlines here. FTX, everyone knows what happened there. And their estate was granted permission to sell off their Bitcoin holdings. And they ended up selling off over $1 billion. That's part of the reason why we had that initial dip a couple of days ago. And then, of course, Grayscale for the last several weeks have been selling off part of their Bitcoin holdings from the futures. And so far, it has totaled up to about $3 billion worth. And then again, today, another 13,000 Bitcoin was sold off, worth 520 million. And the other thing that's also not helping the market is the whole Mt. Gox situation. I'm sure anyone who's been in crypto for the last at least 3 years know all about that. And I guess they they are set to dump 200,000 Bitcoin. Not sure; it's unclear if it's going to be all at once or over time. But that's worth $80 billion. So let's hope that is not done all at once, because that's definitely going to tank the market. All those bear boys that have been crying for 20,000 Bitcoin might get their wish if that happens. But let's discuss that and anything else that people see in the markets overall. Juan G, how are you, friend? I haven't seen you actually since last week. We haven't really spoken. How you been?
So far, so good. Like to seeing the volatility in the market. It's really good. I think that the expectation of it, dipping. I think we all kind of talked about it, especially at the beginning of the year. So to kind of see it to fruition, hopefully we all planned and took part of some of that dip and bought some up. But we all know that ultimately it's gonna play out the way we want to, right? It's gonna be a little bullish. You're gonna take advantage of that, the altcoin season. So lots of good stuff coming up. How you been?
Oh, not too bad. Actually, a little toot my own horn here. I remember a few weeks back, a couple of the channels in Telegram, people were saying that, you get a lot of those bear boys. They're saying Bitcoin is going to go down to 20K, 25K. And I called 38,000. I was pretty close. I said it had to fill the CME gap. And then, hopefully from there we go back up. But it's all going to depend on all this Bitcoin that's being dumped. Now, CryptoCruzer, how are you doing? What do you feel about the market currently?
I'm doing well, doing very well. This recent volatility, like we discussed last week with my trading strategy, being a very short-term, 1 minute, 5 minute, 15-minute chart trader, it's really screwing with me. But I'm having some fun with it. I do have another buy-in, another trade waiting to activate. I'm hoping Bitcoin does go down to 37. We'll see what happens, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, any of the quick swing traders, I guess Jenna, yourself included, or at least that's the way you were before, you're enjoying this volatility. Unlike myself,
Yeah.
I don't like it so much.
Volatility makes money.
Yep.
Okay, speaking of CryptoCruzer, I wanted you to mention we're doing something a little different. We used to do a smash or pass segment where we would do an in-depth look at a certain token of the week. What we're going to do from now on is we're going to have CryptoCruzer mention the token, give a brief description of it, but we're actually going to post a completely separate video where we go in detail on the channel. But for this week, the smash or pass token, and then once CryptoCruzer does his little spiel, we're going to go around the panel and ask everyone if they smash or pass that token. So this week it will be IMX. CryptoCruzer, if you have some quick details to go over that token.
Well, this is the fourth attempt at IMX. Things playing against us. We haven't been able to get this out there yet. Just very quick summary. Immutable, it calls itself the first layer 2 scaling solution for NFTs on the Ethereum network. Their blockchain just basically enables massive scalability with no gas fees for minting and trading NFTs and assets. Just quickly run down the coin market cap. Total supply about 2 million tokens, with about 65% of that in circulation right now, which is about 1.3 billion. Sorry. Market cap sits at $3.26 billion, and right now at this current time, sitting at about $2.45 per token. Now, of course, me being up in Canada, I do have any Canadian funds that might mess with other people, but if these numbers seem off, that's why. IMX is down 6% for the week, but it is up 173% for the year, which has come down because the video that we're going to post later, at the time of recording, which is about 3-4 weeks ago, IMX was up over 400% on the year. That's now down to 173. It's had a bit of a dip like everything else.
Okay, quick question before we get to the smash or pass vote. What's the all-time high for IMX? I can't remember.
Canadian, $9.50. Well, that's 12 American.
All those Yankees can figure it out themselves.
13, 14 American. I'm not sure what that converts to. I can't get
US.
US.
It's about $4.5. It's $4.5.
Oh, 4.5. Okay, 4.5. Okay, well, we'll go around. We'll start at Jenna. Jenna, smash or pass IMX? Are you a fan of that project?
All right. Well, I don't know a ton about it. Am I frozen right now?
No, you're good.
Okay.
If you don't know a ton about it, you're going to have to watch the video that we're going to post.
Well, I pulled up the charts. Like I pulled up the daily and pulled a fib on it. And I'll be honest, looking at the fibs, I would wait until like I see at least a 618 retracement from where I pulled it. However, I did see a small bullish divvy on the daily. So I do like it. I'm going to look for that to come down a little bit more though, before I enter into a trade. So I think you may have just given me one. So I would smash. I don't know what's going to do long term, but I'm going to smash.
Cruiser, yourself?
Long term, I'm a holder, so I'll smash it. But I have not attempted to trade it yet.
Smart. Juan G.
For me, it's a pass. I think that there's a lot of probably more lucrative things out there right now. And for long term, it looks okay, but for short term, definitely not.
Okay, yeah, for long term, you're smashing it then. Okay, Tara Davidson.
I'm passing it as well. I'm with Juan on this one. I'm looking at the chart setup right now. It doesn't look great. It does have the MACD pinch for the bulls on the daily, which is nice, right? But like Jenna said, there is some retracement happening. It should happen fairly soon to about $1.40 or so. That could be an EMA support at $1.40. So I don't know. You know, it's got a really high market cap. It's got a lot of competition. It's 65% diluted. So I don't know. I would rather see another project with a lower market cap with a higher upside than this. So I would pass.
I am going to smash it simply because one of the things that I've always learned is the first to the party is usually the one that gets the most girls. And IMX is kind of like the grandfather. It's been around for a while. Everybody knows it, use it. Its adoption is growing every day. So long term, I am bullish. I'm going to smash it. Yep.
And I've been smashing IMX for years, so I'll keep smashing.
Perfect. Okay. Now, the other thing I wanted to, actually, you know what? I'm going to share my screen real quick here. I did want to, each week, I'm going to show the countdown to the Bitcoin halvening, however you pronounce it. How does everyone pronounce that anyway? Is it halving or halvening?
I say having.
Having.
It's halving, right? Because it's the L right there, so it's yeah.
Halving. Okay.
No one pronounces the L, man. Come on, it's having.
No.
Like flip.
I've heard having, halving. Anyway, here we are. It's 69 days, 21 hours, 9 minutes. It's down to April 4th. Last week it was at April 5th, if you guys recall. So we're down to there. While we're on the theme of markets, I just want to do a quick crypto bubbles. Here we go. Pretty much a sea of red. Manta, I've heard a lot about. I never did get in. Chart, there's one of your favorites, Pyth. I'm not sure how you pronounce that.
That's actually my pick of the week again. Because I spoke about oracles today in my space, and I really believe oracles are the next one to go, especially with Link being very, very bullish. So yeah, Pyth should be absolutely there. Yeah, absolutely keep an eye on it.
I wanted to ask you on the stream, but I couldn't because I'm working and it's too loud in the building. But I know you're a fan of Pyth, obviously. Now, if you had the choice between Pyth and Chainlink, which one would you go for if you can only pick one?
Good question, right? So one of the things I would say to you is this: you gotta go to TradingView, right? Type in Pyth USDT and then / Link USDT. All right, do that right now. You will get a relationship between Pyth and Link. All right, and when you see the chart set up, all right, you can see all of the indicators. You can see the RSI, you can see the MACD, all right. The relationship is in a ratio form, which gives you an idea whether or not one asset will be better to hold than the other. You really want a bullish setup when you're like presenting in that way, like Pyth versus Link for Pyth, right? If you flip it around, if you do Link / Pyth, you're really looking for a favorable Link setup in that scenario. So if you plot it together, it looks like Pyth is pushing harder than Link, which means it's a lot better to hold Pyth than Link if you were to pick one or the other.
Okay. Thanks for that. And then lastly, I'll just pull up the Bitcoin chart for shits and giggles here. Not much. It looks like we're walking down the stairs currently. We'll see what happens with the remainder of all this dumping that's been going on. Okay. Now, Miss Jen, I did want to ask you, we kind of touched on it during the introduction, but do you have any like specific projects or anything on your radars or anything you're paying attention to yourself?
Oh shit, there's just so much going on. Like, I mean, so many different ecosystems right now are doing tons of different airdrops and things like that. I will say the one I'm always dialed into and always will be XRPL. If somebody's coming to me with an XRPL project, whether they have, gotten the funding from Ripple or not, I just love to see people building on it and using it, because honestly, it's so overlooked. And it's hard to build on because we don't have, smart contract capabilities, everything that other chains do. So it's often overlooked. But I love that. So I always have, that's always on my radar. Anybody with those kind of projects, definitely hit me up. I'll look into it. But if it's total shit, don't expect me to like share it with anybody, because also I'm not gonna share shit. Yeah. Like, all right, we've had plenty of that. But I'll be honest with you, my heart's with trading right now, not dating. If I see projects that are really low, like especially the blue chips that I know have been around, like the legacy tokens that I know are gonna withstand, then okay, I'll buy in and buy those dips. And like I said before, like the gaming projects, low market cap gaming projects, there's some I've been in and out of, like a robbery already, and even like different meme tokens. Snack, I had that really, really early and did well on that. But so just kind of watching different ones, watching them grow. But I'm really into trading right now. I can't say that I'm hardcore following too many, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, no, it makes total sense. You can't be everywhere at once, and I get that. But I just remembered, you reminded me, actually, I got some exciting news that I watched a video where, what's his name? Schwartz. What's his first name?
David Schwartz.
David Schwartz.
Yeah.
He was mentioning that the XRPL is possibly coming out with a staking feature where you can stake XRP. Mm-hmm. That would be amazing.
That
XRP
would be
one of my largest holdings, and instead of it just sitting in my wallet doing nothing, I'd rather it be earning yield for me. So that would be amazing if they actually do that.
Absolutely, and to be able to do that from your wallet and not have to put it onto an exchange to do it. Yes. Count me in.
Yeah, same here. That's exciting. Mr. Juan, what's new on the horizon with you? Have you come across anything interesting in the last week? There's been a lot going on, I know.
Well, it's just checking through the Telegram myself. You're gonna get bombarded by tons of new tokens, meme coins that are coming out. It's that season, and my advice stays the same. If you have 1,000 to spare, put 100 in a whole bunch of them. One of them probably will pop off. Take advantage of it. So I personally wouldn't recommend any one. I would just say keep your eyes open for them. And if you have money to burn, don't just put it all in one. Spread the love, and it'll probably reward you by April.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that spend a ton of money on meme coins, and I just wanted to give a warning to the listeners and viewers that if you're on Twitter especially, there's a lot of scams going on right now with meme coins, especially on the Solana network. Be very, very careful. Don't send any Solana to any wallet that's posted. Don't do any pre-sales unless they're legit. There's a lot of scams going on out there. Now, speaking of meme coins,
can I add to that? Did you guys see Crypto Aries Twitter account got hacked, and they're posting links for something on Uniswap? So do not click it out there if you're watching, guys. Be super careful, and I hope that she gets her account back.
You know what, Jenna? She's not the only one. There's a couple of big influencers that have been hacked. Do you guys know Martini Guy? He got hacked. The same scam. There's a few of them that got hacked on Twitter. So yeah, be very, very careful as to who you follow and what you're clicking on. But I was going to say, we don't really cover meme coins on this program. We stick to the more less risky, if that's such a thing, crypto projects. But sometimes you can't avoid memes. Memes are fun. As long as they're legit, you can make money from them. Now, speaking of memes, I do have a question for Chart. I did ask this on Spaces, but you probably didn't see my question, but thoughts on a couple of Solana memes. I want to know your thoughts on how they're going to do. I know they're similar, Myra and Myro. They had their day. They retraced a little bit. Do you see them as being done, or do you see them, possibly continuing?
You're speaking my language now, right? Not that I'm always into memes. I just enjoy the spirit of memes.
Yeah.
Right. Because they come out of nowhere and, they're just so worthless. They have no utility. But the culture is so good. And, I love the fact that people can just make money, a shitload of money off of absolutely nothing. We should also do our due diligence and do a whole bunch of other things. But having people ape into like absolute memes with no utility and coming out with like 6 figures or 5 figures, I mean, that's awesome. I think that's absolutely awesome. And we already talked about the Jupiter meme token. Well, formerly test token, but we thought it was a meme, which was called Mock Jupe. It went up like, I want to say 50x or something like that. And then today they released a tweet saying that wasn't actually the meme token they were going to release. It was this other one is coming out. It's called Wen, WEN, and is going to be airdropped and claimed. So there's a lot of stuff going on. And even looking at Myro, for example, it's gone up like, I don't know, like 30x from its initial lows. So, you got to consider where you are on the actual chart. If you are already up like 5x, 6x, please profit take. Having made that much money over the course of, I don't know, 3-4 weeks, please profit take, right? It's really difficult to just keep that liquidity in a trade, not taking anything off the top. So, and normally these trades, they retrace about 50% from the initial run. That's one of the rules that people have to remember when you're trading. When you find your highs, 50% retracement, you can start adding at that level. But yeah, Myro is just, it peaked too fast, and you can easily start adding at about 15 cents and then maybe down to even like 11 cents or so. But that's Myra. What did you say, Myra?
And Myra, yeah. Oh, Myra, M-Y-R-A. I was just wondering because I've gotten some questions in my DMs and stuff, and especially on Twitter, and I don't really follow them much, but people know that I love the Solana ecosystem, so I guess they assume that I know what's going on with the meme world on Solana, but I don't know what about.
Right. I mean, Myra, I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't touch it just because it can go either way. It has decent TVL. I mean, it's 500,000 TVL. It's not that bad. It's got decent volume, 1.4 million traded, but I mean, it's high risk at this point. It took about 2 days to do, let's see here, about 15x. So, I mean, my answer to that would be like, stay away, right? At all times, stay away. We're not talking about something like Mock Jupe, which actually took its time to get to where it is. It wasn't like a medium pump, but when it comes to these kinds of things, when you see these fast candles, daily candles without any upper wicks, forget it. Just leave it alone.
Great advice. Now, Jenna, I must ask, what is with you and the Kakinu?
I don't know. That shit could be rugged right now, and I'm still making cock jokes. I don't even know. I bought some like a while ago, literally just look at it. I don't know, literally just so I could talk about my cock.
That's weird. I saw you post something about
so
on Twitter.
Immature, and I love it. Like, I just love randomly talking about my cock. So that's the only reason I bought this. I don't even know what the fuck it's doing.
You're among friends.
I know nothing about this.
Yep, have a big bag of cock.
I just know.
This is like the third week of you guys mentioning this cock thing. It's hilarious. Yeah. You guys can't stop talking about it.
Well, Jenna, you don't know, but we did. Cockinu was our smasher pass a few weeks back. So.
Well, I smashed it. I smashed that cock. It was little, but I smashed it.
Damn.
Moving on. Thanks for that chart, and also I did want to thank you as well for that mock jupe play, getting in, getting out. It was perfect timing on your part. Good job, sir. Now, for those that do not know, I'm sure most of you do, but Chart Davidson is one of the team members of the Degens project. They're on Discord. They're an NFT project. They also have channels once you get an NFT in their project where you can, they have trading channel strategies, all kinds of different information you can get in the crypto space. Invaluable, in my opinion. It's well worth the price of admission.
And we actually alerted everyone to sell Mach2 before anything was selling, right? Like if you waited half a day, you would have been down 50%. So it helps being online all the time and being active.
Definitely. So Dip, what do you have next? I'm sure you wanted to talk about stuff. Is there anything going on in the traditional markets?
No.
No. Pretty boring. Cool.
Well, yeah, traditional markets are always boring. I was going to stick to just crypto. We are seeing some like new highs in the S&P and etc. And everything's in the green. Everybody's making money, but I
wanted to ask you something, and I read this earlier. I'm not sure how much truth there is to it, but each time the S&P, or for that matter, the NASDAQ, create a new all-time high, a decline in the market and recession soon follows. Do you see that happening this time?
No. I see the money printer about to start up again.
Yeah.
And the real bad recession's coming in the future.
You still think we're getting one?
Yeah. It's just, right now, when you're looking at a debt to GDP ratio, taxes aren't going to be covering the debt payments. So you'll get an ease on interest rates, and we'll get another rally and put us in even an even worse situation on the inflation front. And then someone else is going to have to really hurt people to get things under control, because as much as it would be nice to see a new currency come around and everybody be honky-dory, the likeliness of that happening, in my opinion, is pretty low. Everybody would have to get destroyed first before anything like that happened.
I was kind of hoping that there would be a kind of a gradual incline in economy and some easing without actually having going into a full-blown recession, but I guess that's inevitable at this point.
Well, there's the S&P right there. So if you look at it on the monthly scale, all it does is go up. So this is what we just went through, and then we're just going to continue on. So
now, what's neat, I find, is there used to be a correlation, a reverse correlation between Bitcoin and the stock market, but we don't seem to see that anymore. Because typically, when you see the stock market or S&P going up like that, in the past, it means Bitcoin's having a correction or a dip. I mean, we did have a little one, but not for the past couple of months. Actually, Bitcoin's been on the rise. So it's kind of neat how they are, mirroring each other instead of being opposite.
Well, I think we would still be getting that rise on the Bitcoin side of things if it wasn't for like the grayscale sell-offs and everything else.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like people need to go to jail when it comes to that, when you can dump a coin on market and then buy it over the counter.
Yeah.
It's not right, and there's a lot of people involved in it, and it would be nice to see some accountability, even with Mr. Gensler, when it comes to trash talking markets, because they sure weren't willing to give Elon a break when he mentions anything on Twitter. So they're real quick to sue, and you have everybody involved in these ETFs doing exactly that, flooding the market and selling off, and they're obviously accumulating. That's just why we're holding heavily. So it's just a matter of time before everything bounces back.
Did we notice that the SEC went totally silent? Nobody's talking about how their account got hacked the other week, and how Bitcoin price got manipulated. Who is going to hold the SEC accountable?
Nobody. They're going to get away.
Does.
They're going to get away with it like they always do, and they've overshadowed that news with the news of postponing the ETF decision for BlackRock and all the other ones for Ethereum. And then, of course, with the dumping and the grayscale and the way the market is, people are focused elsewhere. I bet you they feel like they got away with it. Speaking of Gary Gensler, there he is at the top. Did you hear a rumor that he might actually be Satoshi Nakamoto?
Oh, God.
He needs to figure out what planet he's from first.
Yeah.
I will say that the market right now is going through a couple of things that's different this term versus the last couple of terms, right? When it comes to recession, normally you would lower the interest rates to kind of spur off that recession. But I think doing that now, if they go into that, it actually probably will spur on the recession. I don't think we're there yet. SEC is also kind of dealing with their own nonsense because I think the judge ruled on the SafeMoon securities thing and dropped those 2 charges. So the SEC isn't looking really too good right now on making their case. I mean, don't get me wrong, if he did fraud, he's still going to get caught on all the other nonsense. But as far as the securities fees that I think they just tacked on just to make a case about it being a security, they just lost that piece.
Now, I had a question. Did anybody, I know the day that the lawsuit with Coinbase, I guess Weather postponed it. Have they resumed that yet? Has anybody heard, or when are they going to resume that? I don't know if anybody knows, because I know it's important because not only is Coinbase being sued, but also a few tokens. I can't remember exactly which ones they were, but I know Solana is one of them. And so this is a pretty big lawsuit when it comes to Coinbase and a few other tokens. When it comes to regulatory clarity, it would be amazing if these tokens and Coinbase were, found not guilty, or if it was just thrown out. But I know that a couple of days ago when they were supposed to continue their case, it was snowed out or the weather was too bad. But I didn't hear when the continuation is.
Yeah, there was.
You know what?
I think
with that specifically with Solana, if the Solana Foundation is actually being sued and they were found not selling securities, that will set off a bull run. I would say easily set off a bull run because it will set a massive precedent for everyone. I know Ripple got their thing settled, but it was the wrong timing, right? It was was it last year sometime? It was just the wrong timing. I think if they do it now, if there's any settlement of any of these lawsuits, it will spark that bull run immediately. Because all of a sudden, think about it, it sets a precedent for all the other projects, and all of a sudden, these companies are not supposedly selling securities anymore, and now everyone's going to get into it and all of a sudden go from there.
Well, yeah, it would be huge because not only for that reason for the tokens, but Coinbase being the largest exchange, plus they're a public selling company in the crypto space. It would, yeah, you're right. It would set off a massive start to the bull run. Well, I shouldn't say start, continuation, because I've said all along the bull run has been going since January of this year or last year. But that would set off a parabola. Go ahead, Juan.
What I heard is that there are 2 companies, which I cannot name, that are financial institutions that are tied to Coinbase. And so Coinbase kind of called in someone to hold it. So there's an issue there. And it kind of would, I wouldn't say it would be like the bank crashing situation, but there will definitely be some issues if it were to continue the way it is currently set up. So the case will continue. It'll just change. The merits on it will change.
Okay. Interesting. It's always good to have an insider of the traditional markets on the panel.
I share what I can.
Actually, I wanted to ask you before we move on. Sorry to change the topic here, but with the market volatility the way it's been, how have the I don't want to call them prop accounts, but that part of the trading that you've been experimenting with, how's that been going?
It's been going really well. I think that they are seeing a huge push towards these type of accounts being open. Okay. Unfortunately, there are some people who still are not legit. So you have to keep your eyes open and do your due diligence when trying to go on there. But I'll tell you that there are changes being forced that are happening. I don't know if people know, but like MT4 and MT5 are usually the big terminals people use. It looks like they are going into a phase of phasing out MT4. But the good news is MT5 is so robust with reporting and getting information and stuff like that it makes it easier for traders now to kind of utilize when it comes to indicators. It's turning into like a trading view situation. So we're really excited to see what the future of this type of market, forex markets, is going to go into. And I'll definitely recommend that people who are not comfortable with crypto Forex is definitely another avenue for people to kind of make their money on the side.
So trading view with advanced trading bots. That's amazing. Well,
Yep,
everyone
yep.
can use a little bit of an edge when it comes to trading, for sure, because we've all experienced losses. I know I have. I'm sure everyone on the panel has, especially when they don't use stop losses. Jenna. Okay, before we close up the stream, I did want to let Jenna finish off here. Any last words? Anything else you want to discuss before we end things off?
Any last words? My final words? No, I don't have anything. This is such a great show. I love how you guys do this. The topics are awesome. Everybody just brings so much knowledge. So yeah, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Anytime. You're welcome back anytime. We're glad that you were able to make it, and happy to have you on.
Thank you. I'm trying to not read the cock comments. It's so funny. I can't help it. Thanks for letting me bring it up.
Mr. Dip, any last words before we head out?
I don't know. Be patient. If you're invested in stuff, things are going to be going nuts again. If you're not investing in stuff, you're going to be hurting. Equity is everything.
DCA, be patient.
Don't be holding cash. Things are way too ugly out there.
Yeah. Okay. I'd like to thank everyone for another great episode. Thank you, Jenna. I invite everyone to stick around till after the stream is over. We continue the conversation there. Thanks to all the listeners, everyone in the comments. You've been great. If you can leave a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Really appreciate you.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.
Peace out.
See you.